Everyone, thank you for coming. Welcome to Stewart Stadium today for this special press conference for Weber State Athletics. I'm Paul Greer, the Media Relations Director for Weber State Athletics. We'll first hear from Coach Ron McBride, following which we'll hear from our Athletic Director, Jerry Bovee, and then we'll open up to questions.
Well, I don't know quite what to say, you know. I guess I could reflect on you know, I've coached in every conference in the country in the last 50 years. It's been a great ride. So the only thing I know is the last 60 years has been football only, and that's really been my whole life. So I really don't know, you know, what the other life is, and it's really, in reality, it's all about the players, and so the reason I came to this decision, and it's my decision, nobody else's decision. I looked at where this program is. All the players are in the right classes. The program is exactly where it needs to be. And I just felt they need a new voice at the top. And the only thing that's important to me at this point is the success of Weber State. I built this program, we built this program with what we had in mind. Everything is in place. Now we need somebody else to take it to the next step. And you know, I have no idea what I'll do without football, because I don't know anything else, because that's what I've done. I don't have hobbies. I don't do this. I don't do that. But I know one thing, that we have a very good coaching staff here. Hopefully we're going to be able to keep all that intact, and I'll have some say about who they hire, and hopefully it'll be somebody that has a similar philosophy that I have, that can carry on what I'm doing, and I can still be part of this program. And I feel strongly that we just need a little, you know, just a little bump. And I think the bump will come with the new head coach. I mean, that's yeah. I mean, that's not to retire. That's not my favorite thing to do, but I think it's the right thing at this point. You know, I would say that you know, most of you know me because I've been in the state of Utah for so many years, and coached both at the University of Utah and at Weber. And I would say that the media has always treated me fairly. Most of you that are here I know, and we've had a lot of laughs over the years, and you've always printed what you thought, and you were always fair to me, and I appreciate that. Everybody in this state has treated me better than I deserve over the last, you know, I guess I was 26 years at Utah on and off, another 7 here, but from the people at the airport to the people at wherever I went in the state, people always cared about what I was doing. They cared about how I felt, and I don't think, you know, and I coached a lot of places, but never have I felt better when I'm in the state of Utah. And this university, Weber State, has treated me unbelievably. They built me a new field out here. They built me 2 fields down there. You know, they've given me every opportunity to succeed. And people have bought into what we're doing here. And it's so exciting to me to see where this program is and where it can go. And I just want to be, you know, I want to do the right thing for Weber State, not the right thing for Ron McBride. The right thing for Ron McBride would be to stay here and just punish myself and punish the guys that work for me and punish the players. But the right thing for Weber State is for me to step down and let somebody push the envelope further than I pushed it. I mean, you have to look at it from the standpoint, okay, what can I do that's going to help Weber State the most? And at this point, that's the way I see it. So, you know, it's anybody that knows football coaches, they have big egos and they have this and they have that. And the only thing I'm interested in really is the players and their welfare and what I can do best for them. And you know, Jerry Bovee has treated me unbelievably well and done a great job here. Same thing with Jerry before that. I mean, it was, you know, it's been a great run here. And basically, and the whole thing is really, you know, I love this group of players I have here. You know, that's the bottom line. I mean, I love seeing. That's the biggest thing I'm gonna miss is seeing players every day, sitting down and BSing with them about whatever, and dealing with their problems, and not being happy with them sometimes, and being happy with them other times, and being mad because they don't do this or do that. So it's in football, the only thing that you see is that the nice thing about coaching football is no day is ever the same. No matter how you plan it, or you put out at 10 o'clock I'm going to do this, at 10:30 I'm going to do that, at 11 o'clock I'm going to do that, it never works that way. Because every day is different because you're dealing with a bunch of young people and they all got different problems. And so, you know, you might think at 9:10 I'm going to do this, but at 9:15 somebody did something they weren't supposed to do. And so then you're dealing with that, or you're dealing with, but that's what keeps you going. I mean, that's what keeps you young, really, is because you never have time to think about what the minuses are. Because you're always dealing with some problem, no matter where you are. So this career has been unbelievable for me, because I've seen the whole country, plus all the islands, plus all the Canadian states, plus Tonga, Samoa, American Samoa, Western Samoa. I mean, I've seen it all, and on somebody else's dime. So it's been nice, and also see that, you know, how everybody lives in the world. You know, I mean, I kind of know by recruiting, you get to see so many different families and how they live and what problems they have, because every time you go into a different home, there's a problem. And then we sit down and we talk about your problems before we talk about your kid, you know. And it's been like an education, you know, to see all these different places and all these different people over so many years. I mean, how can how can anybody be more blessed than I've been? And that's what's hard about, because I have no idea what retirement is. I couldn't tell you. I don't know. All I know is that one time I went down to Social Security to get my sign up for that deal, and I think I've told the story before. So I went in there, and my wife told me, go down, they're going to give you money. you know. So I went down and I walked up the second floor and go in there. And so I called her and I said, hey, this is the wrong place. There's a bunch of old people in here. She said, well, you're one of them. Just go in and sign up and get your money. The hardest thing about this whole deal was telling the players. Because I always tell them, you can't ever quit. You can't ever do this, you can't ever do that. And then I'm sitting there and I'm telling them I'm retiring. And I don't know, some of them took that real personal. And I don't blame them, because I do tell them that all the time. And I do tell them it's not acceptable to quit. And it's not acceptable that we're going through a little bit of a tough stretch now on our football team. And I say, I always tell them, you got to fight through these stretches. And I just didn't know how else to do this. And it had nothing to do with where we are right now. It's up to me to get this ship righted in the next 2 weeks. But the future here is so good, because we have real talent here. And I want to be part of what they do. I want to be part of their education. I promised their parents that I would see them graduate, and that's what I intend to do. But it'll just be in a little different aspect. And from the administration, from the president, to Norm, to Jerry, they've treated me better than I deserve here. And I have nothing but the greatest respect for the opportunity that they've given me to coach at Weber State. So I don't know, what else you want me to say?
Well, today's really about the celebration of a coaching legend, right? I didn't think we were going to get him up here today. He and I met this morning at 7, and I thought it was going to be a tough sell to get him to come up here and sit on this podium and talk to you today. In fact, I had to bring candy. When I took the job here 2 years ago, I couldn't get him to come to my office. So I found out he liked good and plenties and hot tamales, and he's here. So, I don't think we could get through the day without mentioning Mac's family that have always been there, supporting him.
Well, Danny's here. Where is he?
Danny's here.
Yeah.
Vicki and the girls. Mike. It won't be the same going on a road trip without the girls to make sure that Coach can use his Kindle. He loves his Kindle, but actually getting it turned on and getting it going takes a little work.
Yeah.
And they've been a big part of his career and need to be mentioned today. Some of you may ask why today. Coach came to me last week and started to talk about in his mind how retirement would go for him. And frankly, doing this today was important to our program so that our fans have an opportunity on Saturday to be here and celebrate his career with him. I think if he had his way, he'd have just waited till the season was over and packed his stuff and gone home. But it's important to us as a program and an institution to make sure that he has an opportunity to get the credit that he deserves. Where we go forward from here will be determined another day. Really, today is a day that needs to be what it is, and this is Coach Mac's day. So that's about all I have. Paul, if you want to open it up to any questions.
Yeah, open up to any questions for Coach McBride or for Jerry.
Coach,
Yeah.
what does it mean to you to be able to go out on your own terms?
Well, you know, I always hoped when I started out that when I decided that there was a way I could make a decision about what I was doing or not doing. I never really saw myself retiring. You know, I saw myself dying on the field, basically. You know? That's the way I always kind of looked at it. You know, I never pictured myself being retired. You know, I pictured my heart blowing up and just, you know, somebody hauling me off, and that was it. You know, that's kind of how I always pictured it. Because people would ask me, well, how long you want to coach? I said, well, when the Lord takes me, I'll go. you know, but I guess it's before my time.
Coach, you said you saw another role for yourself helping on the players here. What do you think?
What's that?
You said you saw yourself having another role here with the players. What do you think that's going to be?
Well, I have no idea, except I want to be involved in their academic life, in their off-season life, and the stuff they're doing, so I make sure that I have some part in them reaching their potential. Because I recruited these guys, so I'm responsible for them. I'm responsible to their parents, and I'm responsible to them. And so when you go in a home and you tell people that, then what you need to do is you need to fulfill that. So I don't know what they're going to let me do around here, and everything depends on you know, what they do, who they hire, with all that kind of stuff as to where I fit. But you know, I'm definitely just not walking away. What I'm doing is shortening my hours worked. You know, so I'm not going to have like a 8 to 5 job or something, or 8 to 5, and you just, you know, you kind of come and go as you please, but you don't have to be here at 5 in the morning and leave at, you know, 10 o'clock at night every day.
What has it meant to you to see your players through the years go on to become coaches and other things and have success?
Well, that's what it's all about. It's all about them. It's not all about me. You know, it's all about what happens to them and how they progress and what happens to their lives. And obviously, you know when they're doing well and you know when they're not doing so well. So,
Coach, when you came here, you said something about Weber State being the right size school for the players.
the right size school for the players?
Yeah, you could get more players graduated.
Well, I think because the classes are smaller and you get more individual attention and you have more feedback as to what they're doing or they're not doing. And therefore, if you have a smaller class size, it gives the players more of an opportunity to get feedback, and the professors teach the classes. There's not some TA teaching the classes, the professors are teaching the classes. So you know right away if the professor doesn't like your kid or not. You know whether he's in class or he's not in class, because they call you and tell you, hey, Jim so-and-so, he didn't show up this morning at 8:10. And Norm Tarbox knows as soon as that, before I know. And then he knows, and then somebody else knows, and so pretty soon everybody knows. So you know, on this campus, you know what's going on. There's no secrets here.
You met, did you come up with this decision before, or it sounds like maybe you came up with this decision sometime last week. It wasn't the getting hit on the sidelines last Saturday.
No, what I try to do is analyze every week where I'm at with this program and where my team is and how hard they're playing and am I doing the best by them? Because no matter what happens on Saturday, you look at yourself first to see, okay, am I doing a good enough job to make sure we have a chance to be successful on the field? And every time you make a few mistakes in a game that cost you a game, then you look at yourself first, look at the people that work for you, and look at the people who play for you. And so then that tells you if you're doing a good enough job or not. And we've lost games this year we shouldn't lose.
Coach?
And so that has to do, the head of any corporation, it goes back to the head of the corporation. And so you can't duck it and you can't blame it on somebody else, you know. Everybody wants to blame somebody else for their problems. Oh, we lose a game, that guy over there is fault, that guy over there, him over there. But reality, look at yourself, you know, because you're the guy in charge. So I look at myself, I don't like what I see on a few Saturdays this year because I can still see the plays. You know, and that's like a horror story, you know. Yes?
Coach, I've been a big fan of Weber for 50 years, fan of Weber for 40 years, and I just want to tell you how great you play. been a great thing for Weaver. We love you, Coach.
Said he loves you.
Well, I love you. You know, because you would come every Saturday and help us recruit, and you care so much about Weber State, and you're such a big part of Weber State. And that's what's important to me. Because as a professor, you give up your time to tell you what a great experience you've had at Weber State, and you sell it to the people that
Well, thank you, Coach. Thank you.
so yeah.
Well, you know, Coach, I was going to ask you all these years.
What were you going to ask me?
All of these guys, you know, all these years, all these games. What is your favorite kind of day? I picture you, I might be wrong, I picture you wanting to play in the snow. I picture you in the mud. But tell me if that's wrong, you'd rather play, in perfect weather, or do you like?
Well, I love bad weather. You know, I mean, I like to play in bad weather because I think it reminds me of when I was a kid. Whenever it rained or anything, we'd go out and play slow motion football, you know, in the mud. It was always fun. And so I always say, you know, the worst days are better. I remember one time in Wisconsin, we were going to play Michigan State, and some reporter asked me, what do you think about the weather over here? I said, man, it's awesome over here. It's about 10 degrees cooler than Wisconsin, so it's like a spring day. So, and we went out and kicked Michigan State's ass.
Mac, when you look back over your career, and it has been a great career, is there any particular victories or moments that really
I think there's games that stand out every place you've been. You know, I think in high school, you know, I was a baseball coach, and we won the conference championship, and I was able to save my pitcher for an extra day because I wouldn't play on the field because it was wet. And they wrote me up. You know, that was the thing they did. If you didn't agree with something, and the day before the game, they had all the principals of my school, the principals of the other school. Everybody's out there. So, now we're playing today. I said, no, my field's too wet. Can't play on this field. Because I had this big right-hander, you know, and he needed another day's rest, right? So then the other principal said, well, we're going to write this up and put it in your whatever. I said, do whatever you want, but I said, we play on this field, you're liable. So if somebody gets hurt, they're going to sue your ass, not mine. So we played the next day and we won. And the pitcher had about 17 strikeouts. I mean, he was mowing them down. But I think in junior college, we played for the small college championship up in Reading, and it was a real muddy day, and our kids gave everything that they had. I think we got beat 10-7, but it was one of those days where it was just, you know, inch by inch by inch by inch, you know. I think at Wisconsin, it was no question, was the Ohio State game when Byers was supposed to win the Heisman Trophy, and that day our running back ran for I think 190 yards, and they took Byers out on the stretcher. I think that was, and I can remember that was a real cold day, and I was coaching the offensive line. And so we had a timeout called, and the offensive lineman wouldn't come to the sideline. And they're all out there, and you just see them yapping like this, right? And Dave McLean, who was the head coach, said, "Get your guys over here." I'm yelling, "Get your butts over here!" And they wouldn't come; they just stayed out there. And so when the series was over, they came. I said, "What the hell are you guys doing?" They said, "Hey, coach, we just let them know we're going to kick their ass all day," and they did. I mean, they punished those guys. I mean, I can still see those Ohio State dudes falling down. It looked like a bunch of Timberwolves when they were going down. You know, so there's been, you know, Arizona. I think it was a game against Oklahoma that we had where we needed 2 first downs to win the game. We went on 4th down, I think 2 or 3 different times, and it was all, you know, 2 yards, 3 yards, 2.5 yards, Then we start again, 2 yards, 3 yards, 2.5 yards, or whatever, to get another first down. And it was just a slugfest. And you could hear the pads popping, and you could see the helmets, and you could hear the noise. I mean, it was unbelievable because they were getting after it, and it's kind of remarkable how it stays in your mind. At Utah, obviously, that deal where Yerkeson kicked that field goal to kind of create the history at the University of Utah. I mean, that kick's still going, and that changed the whole complexion of Utah football on that day. At Kentucky, it was probably the five overtime game with Arkansas, which was a hell of a game. It was raining, everything sleet, and we're just slugging it out with them. And they had that 6'5" quarterback. I was coaching the linebackers, and we had a blitz on, and my guy missed the tackle, and he threw the winning score off of a guy missing the tackle, and so he made the tackle. We win the game. He didn't make the tackle. We lost the game. But that was a pretty exciting day. Here at Weber, man, that Cal Poly game, and Trevin was a big part of that. That was probably the best football game we've ever played here. And Cal Poly, I thought was the best team in the country that year. But I tell you what, we played a perfect game that day. And it's probably one of the best football games I've ever been involved in, as far as execution, toughness, with two teams really going after each other. The Montana game here that year, where we just kicked them around like they were dogs. That was good because they think they're so good. And that's the thing that I miss the most is those Montana games, because one of the things Montana, the two Montana schools are like playing BYU. You want to kick their ass, excuse my language. And I could probably, since I'm not going to be the coach anymore, I could probably swear a little bit.
What would be different?
But I got Tevye's back there. Tevye, I apologize to the church. Tevye's like my conscience. He always reminds me, he says, Coach, don't use those words. I said, okay, as long as you don't tell your mother, right?
Coach, I was wondering, this is kind of a personal question. Do you still have the same motivation, enthusiasm for the game? And also, I'd like to know what's kind of on your bucket list as to what you want to do, and give us a hint as what you want to do that you haven't quite done yet.
There's a lot of questions at once. Okay, so
Motivation.
Do you still have the same kind of motivation?
yeah, man, I'm still like, yeah. I mean, I love what I do now. Don't get me wrong, man. I still shoot. Man, I love this game. I love the players. I'm just not as because I guess when you get older, you're not as philosophical. I don't know what it is. You maybe get hardened, But yeah, I'm still excited about playing this week, and I want to get the most out of these players and figure a way to get themselves turned around where they need to be. And but yeah, I wake up every morning thinking about football, and I go to bed at night thinking about football. So I don't know. That's all I think about, and paying the bills, I guess. But that's about it.
What's about some of the things you want to do that you haven't done?
What I want to do, I got no idea. I mean, I've done everything I want to do in my life, really. I mean, I've seen every place. I've participated in every sport you could think of. I've seen all the countries that I want to see. I get so many contacts in the islands that are unbelievable, and I've been to the most beautiful spots in the world, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know what I want to do. I don't want to go on a cruise, I know that. Stuck on a boat for 10 days or something. I'm not too excited about that. Guys, you get on a plane to Hawaii and you get off and there's all these people that are going on some cruise ship, you know. Oh yeah, I've been going on another cruise ship. And I look at these people, I said, man, this ain't me. I'm not doing that stuff. So I'm not going on a cruise.
Mac, how are you feeling physically? You took a shot, I know, last Saturday, but...
Well, I was hurting for a while, but I'm on a rebound. So I feel like, you know, the biggest problem I think is just, I love to work out, but I haven't been able to work out since August. I like to swim my laps, and that kind of keeps you sane. And that's the thing that I miss the most, is just that daily schedule of spending an hour and a half with your workout. Makes your mind a little more healthy.
How important was it for you to get back out there Saturday? You got hurt in the first quarter.
I know, but you don't feel anything until the game's over. Once the game was over, you know, then all of a sudden, oh, this knee hurts, you know. But yeah, and all of a sudden, my legs swollen up and get blood in it and all that stuff. But when the game's going on, you know, it's like the pain or whatever. It's not like, doesn't mean much because you don't notice it too much. You limp a little bit, but you don't notice it because you're concentrated on some other part of what's going on.
Are you going to be able to be on the sideline Saturday, or are you going to be in the press box?
Well, you know, I'd love to be on the sideline, but I'll probably be, I guess, upstairs, you know, I'd imagine. Yeah.
Sit with the reporters?
Oh, man, I tell you. I don't know. Rock has stoned me a few times, these little comic strip he has on. You know, what do they call it? What's that? What's it called? Rockism or something?
Rock on.
Huh?
Rock on.
Yeah, the rock on, and then he'll say something like, you know, it makes me look really bad. You know, oh yeah, Coach Mack, look how stupid he is.
Any more questions?
But I love you anyway, Brad.
Any more questions? All right, thank you. Coach McBride will be available for some one-on-ones if you need it as well. Thank you for coming.
I'd say one more thing before. Sit down, Zippy.
Sorry, Coach. Sorry, Coach. I thought you were finished.
No, man, hey, it's my time, Zippy.
Sorry.
There it was.
Yeah, going to miss that, aren't we?
But I'd like to, you know, a lot of my assistant coaches are guys who played for me, and the biggest thing, you know, in this coaching profession, so many of those guys that I've coached are doing so well in this profession, and you know, and the people here like Joe Bass and Ralph and Tommy and all the girls and my little love child over here who's pregnant now. Every day I see her and she's pregnant, I'm so happy for her, you know. She's got a real nice husband, and that makes me feel good. So, and my friend, my buddy Dutch, man, who takes care of me, and Jimmy. And so I don't know, man, it's way cool. So anyways, that's about it, I guess. So that's cool. Okay.
All right, thanks again for coming.
Okay.